Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you live and what time you watch this. This is the first of my Army Showcase videos, and there's going to be probably a few of these because I've got quite a few figures. But starting off today with some 28mm Napoleonics, where these are the contingents I got here of Bavarians, Saxons and Swiss. So just thought I'd go through and just show them to you, to see what you think. What you're looking at the moment are Bavarian Chevaliers. Now they can be either 2 regiments of 24, 3 regiments of 16, or 4 regiments of 12, depending on what sort of scale of game I intend to play. If I'm playing General de Brigade, there'd be a 24 figure unit. If I'm playing General d'Armée, there'd be 16s. A bit more flexibility between the General d'Armée rules than the General de Brigade ones in terms of unit sizes. My preference is General de Brigade because I do like the detail, and I think they flow just as well as black powder and give better period flavour. That's my opinion. It's just that I've invested a lot of time in actually reading the rules, so it's quite easy. In the front there we've got the Bavarian foot artillery. They're all front rank figures. The cavalry at the back, they're a War Games Foundry, so they're slightly smaller, but because they're cavalry, it doesn't really matter, in my opinion. I think I've said before is with my Napoleonics, what I'm trying to do is keep the majority of the figures to one sculptor, figure manufacturer. This obviously isn't the case, having used the War Games Foundry there, but I've managed to purchase those as a painted lot, so it made sense just to use them. Moving further along, we come to the infantry. As you can see, I've got 4 line units and 2 light units. I do my figures in the, shall we say, the Peter Gilder way of 36 figure units where appropriate. There's something just reflects the company organisation, I think, better. These are all front rank. Now, of some interest might be to some people is this flag here. It's actually, I got these off eBay UK from they're actually cloth flags. Same with those 2 at the back there. For your reference, the person's name on eBay is Shazza 40K, I think it was, or Shazza 40. SHAZZER. You'll find it. But there's some great. If I show you these, because these are the GMB flags, and obviously they are the benchmark. But if you look at those 2, I don't think there's not a lot lost, if you know what I mean, in terms of detail. So I'd recommend anybody wanting something slightly different go for those. Yeah, but I've got some. I think I've got another couple of unpainted Bavarian units in my cupboard of shame somewhere. So they'll be added to in time. Probably another couple of line units to make it 2 full brigades. And I've got 2 cavalry brigades, so effectively I've got a Bavarian division. Looks quite good. Moving further along, we come to the Saxons. Now these are Calpe figures with, I think these are GMB flags. I didn't paint these. These are actually painted by a gentleman who actually, Roger Murrow, who has the lovely Muraski miniatures figure line, but he did a great job of those. All I had to do was base them up and give them a flag. But no, they've come up. I love these Calpe figures. I've got some French ones again in my cupboard of shame. So I've only got the 2 foot units at the moment, so obviously that needs to be added to in time. The other thing I do have is the Zastrov Cuirassiers, or 24 figure. They are Eureka miniatures. The only criticism I have, they're lovely sculpts and it makes for a great looking unit, but the metal seems to be rather soft compared to a lot of the other manufacturers, and I have to be very careful with these things, because I think one is already broken off, which I've had to pin and then disguise the pin with as a bit of a bush somewhere. Don't know where he is. But yeah, that's the only criticism I have, but they're beautiful figures, and as you can see, they've come up they look rather nice, rather tasty. Yeah, you can't go wrong with Calpe figures, and yeah, my cousin has an entire Prussian army of Calpe figures. I think it's the Prussian 3rd Corps or something like that, all painted by El Mercenario, so you can imagine how magnificent that is. And the last ones we got here in the showcase is this little crowd of Swiss. So I've got, they represent 3 different regiments. Now these 2 are elite figures, and I know some people don't like elite figures, but I'm very fond of them for the fact that they make great looking units. When you look at them, you always see the bayonets in a host of different positions. It looks like they're really moving along, and I'm using elite figures for my Italian army as well. And it's not, I think last year Elite actually released some lovely figures in a right and left shoulder shift pose, which may or may not be able to get some at the Christmas, his annual Christmas sale, which I think can't be too far away. But anyway, carrying on, that third one, the one on the left there, is they're just front rank figures. Did those very early on in the piece. Yeah, they've come up all right. So they're a bit more campaign worn, shall we say. And I put this artillery in the front there. I'm not sure if they're even. I think they're supposed to be Neuchâtel artillery, but I'm not sure they've got the uniform right. But they look nice anyway. But they're all Perry figures. So they make a nice looking unit. Actually, but that might be a foundry gun, because I know the Perry gun models are actually quite big. You think the figures are over a bit on the slight side, but they're not. Well, that's, like I said, that's the first lot. Like I said, I've got a great many Napoleonic units to show. Like the Russians, for example, I think I've got the entire Russian 6th Corps at 1:20 scale from Borodino. Plus, I think I've got a Grenadier Brigade to back them up as well. That's about 25 25 or 27 foot units, for example. What I'm doing, the theme I'm doing for my Napoleonics is 1812. It can be extended to 1813, but what I quite like is the fact that the on one side I only need to collect the Russians, and I can collect hordes of them, whereas on the French side I can do whatever I want basically. I've got obviously a few French, but I've got a rather large Westphalian army. I've got smaller contingents, like I think I've got a Hesse Darmstadt unit. Well, so I'll show those. The Irish Legion, a couple of Federation of the Rhine small contingents like Anhalt and Lippe. But so I'll get those done and put them in a video to you. But yeah, so that's the first taste of it. If you want to ask any questions about where I get any of the stuff from, just let me know. We'll see you later. Bye.